Detroit, 62.
It's big.
This is TV 50 News Scene, Detroit's most complete primetime television newscast with award-winning Byron McGregor, brought to you in part by Standard Oil.
Good evening. Here's what's happening. Detroit Mayor Coleman Young had a...
Good morning to you on this overcast Thursday morning in the Motor City.
This is TV 50 News, where you're in tune with the latest news for Metro Detroit and the world.
Good afternoon, Amir Jacobson here. Happy Valentine's Day, and there's good news for the automotive industry today.
This is Morning Break with your host, Sherry Woodard. A half hour of the latest news and entertaining interviews to help keep you better informed. You're in touch with Metro Detroit's 10 o'clock news.
His last-minute appeal falls on deaf ears. Tonight, only hours separate the country's most notorious killer from the electric chair. The story of Theodore Bundy in just a few moments. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amir Jacobson.
And I'm Glenn Ray. Also tonight, a dramatic, perhaps unprecedented...
A major car theft ring is broken up.
Are crack users spreading sexual diseases? Plus...
And I'm Harry Hairston. Diana Ross delivers a supreme performance here at the Fox Theater. A live report on that story and much more headed your way right now on the TV 50 10 o'clock news.
A Motown legend is back in the Motor City. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amir Jacobson.
And I'm Roger McCoy. Well, she is one of the biggest superstars of all time.
Live from Metro Detroit, this is Michigan's only prime-time newscast, the 10 o'clock news, with Roger McCoy, Amir Jacobson, Ray Lane Sports, and Gary Basner Weather.
He's accused of kidnapping 3 Metro Detroit girls, and tonight the nationwide man...
Live from Metro Detroit, this is Michigan's only prime-time newscast, the 10 o'clock news, with Roger McCoy, Amir Jacobson, Ray Lane Sports, and Gary Basner Weather.
A multiple murder case. 4 people are gunned down in a house on the city's east side.
Live from Metro Detroit, this is Michigan's only prime-time newscast, the 10 o'clock news, with Roger McCoy, Amir Jacobson, Ray Lane Sports, and Gary Basner Weather.
Good evening. I'm Roger McCoy.
And I'm Amir Jacobson. General Motors got the short end of the legal stick today.
Live from Metro Detroit, this is Michigan's only primetime newscast, the 10 o'clock news with David Scott, Amir Jacobson, Ray Lane Sports, and Gary Basner Weather.
Good evening, everyone. A wild day of weather here in Michigan.
A daring rescue in dangerous waters. Tonight, see what happened when the Coast Guard saves victims from the ravaged aftermath of Fran.
Are cruising kids causing trouble in one metro community? The cops say yes, but parents say no. See what's causing controversy tonight in Novi.
Tonight, a popular rapper is fighting for life after being gunned down on the streets of Las Vegas. Tonight, see what happened to Tupac Shakur.
But first, the search is on tonight for a stolen car filled with pieces of World War II history. A Detroit car thief stole a lot more than a car this weekend. He stole a carload of history.
Our top story tonight, the vehicle had airplane parts.
Straight to the point. This is the UPN 50 10 o'clock news.
A 9-year-old fights to live after police say a 13-year-old stabbed her behind this house. The story is breaking right now. We'll take you live to the scene. An explosive discovery at Detroit Police Headquarters. Cops find a bomb in a briefcase. Was it planted or a hoax? We'll get the straight facts. Teddy bears and tears. Only on 50, a 6th grader remembered after a sudden accident takes her life. New information about that doomed American Airlines jetliner. Tonight, what the tower heard moments before impact. The news starts now. Straight to the point. Child's play is taking a terrifying turn on Detroit's west side.
A 9-year-old is critically stable.
Straight to the point. This is the UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
World Wrestling Football. Is the league heading here?
Holding on 50 tonight, extreme mountain bikers take to the trails.
UPN 50 confronts a store owner selling fake photos.
Red Wing hockey is 30 minutes away, but we've got your pregame coverage live. And good evening, everybody. I'm Rich Fisher. What a smackdown tonight, huh?
What a smackdown. Tonight's first story, well, the World Wrestling
Tonight's local news, straight to the point. You're watching the UPN 50 10 o'clock news.
A local man is arrested tonight after police say he kidnaps his infant son and then takes police.
This is the UPN 50 10 o'clock news.
Only on 50, Maxi Training School accused of putting dangerous criminals.
Tonight's local news, straight to the point. You're watching 62 CBS News at 11.
In a rush to rescue a drowning man in the Detroit River.
You found a newscast that won't waste your time. 62 CBS News at 11. Straight to the point. This is 62 CBS Eyewitness News.
A drug buyer is dealt quite a blow when he dials security at the airport. Just how safe are you?
Seconds ahead, 62 CBS News takes you on a revealing investigation.
See firsthand what happens inside 12 different airports in one day.
Plus a big fuss over this bird.
Why is this local man crying foul?
62 CBS News at 11 starts right now.
This is 62 CBS News special coverage. America Fights Back.
You're watching WKBD-TV. Now, UPN Detroit. Action News at 10.
It never happened. It never happened. It never happened.
Tonight, Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick hopes he's putting all the rumors and allegations of wrongdoing to rest. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. The mayor says it's all just not.
You're watching WKBD-TV. Now, UPN Detroit. Action News at 10.
This surveillance video shows a crime in progress tonight. Two men walked into a store.
From WWJ TV, this is your first forecast. Here's Tracy Gary.
Good evening. What a beautiful day we ended up having today. In fact, it was a nice cap to
give it up.
From WWJ TV. This is First Forecast Mornings. Weather and traffic without the wait. And news headlines powered by CBSDetroit.com.
A happy.
From CBS 62. This is First Forecast Mornings. Weather and traffic without the wait. And news headlines powered by CBSDetroit.com.
And good morning. 12 minutes after 5 o'clock. Welcome back to First Forecast Mornings, and Jill has cooked up something.
From WWJ TV and CW50, this is First Forecast Mornings. Weather and traffic without the wait. And news headlines powered by CBSDetroit.com.
Good morning to you, Detroit. Your Friday's finally here. I'm your
Good morning. This is Eye in Detroit on CBS 62, and I'm Jackie Page. We don't know their story.
You're watching CW50 News at 10.
The President of the United States stood before the American people and refused.
Local designer Tracy Reese has built a reputation in the fashion industry. Her hope for flower
rise to nominate Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House.
Now, the moments that matter most from across the country and here at home. A
A deeper dive into the biggest stories impacting the nation.
Without the clerk, Congress could not fulfill its obligation to the American people.
A focus on your family's health.
Does have a growth advantage above all of the other subvariants so far.
And tapping into the unending resource of hope.
I was inspired. I was inspired by God.
I'm Tom Hansen. Your news starts now. Good evening and good to be with you. We go now to a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where Congress is reconvening to vote once again for Speaker of the House.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at noon starts now.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us here on CBS News Detroit at noon. I'm Terrence Friday here with next weather meteorologist Karen Carter, who's got an up.
Detroit.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We are on the air and streaming on the CBS News app. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
And I'm Chris Ledeen in for Jessica Barsky.
And Chris, you are a new face for our viewers here at CBS News Detroit. We are so happy to welcome you to the team.
Thank you very much.
Live, covering all of Southeast Michigan, CBS News Detroit at 6:30 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight on CBS News Detroit at 6:30. We're streaming on the CBS News app. Good evening. I'm Jeff Skaversky.
I'm Shayna Humphreys, and we begin tonight with a look at your forecast.
Covering all of Southeast Michigan, CBS News Detroit at 7 starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for CBS News Detroit at 7. I'm Shayna Humphreys. Tonight we'll be taking a closer look at right now.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 11 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight on CBS News Detroit. We are on the air and streaming on the CBS News app. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
And I'm Jeff Skaversky. The big story tonight at 11. More snows on the...
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 5 a.m. starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us on CBS News Detroit at 5. I'm Chris Ledeen.
I'm Lauren Winfrey in for Sandra Ali. Here are the top 5 stories we're following this morning at 5 o'clock. The wave of strikes happening.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 6 a.m. starts now. Good morning. It's Monday, December 4th. Chris and Lauren here with you to start your day.
And here are the top 6 stories we're following this morning.
Covering the topics that'll have Southeast Michigan talking. This is CBS News Detroit at 9 a.m.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. Glad you can join the 4 of us for a second day on our new 9 o'clock show. Don't forget, we want you to be a part of it all, so keep your phones and tablets.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at noon starts now. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us here on CBS News Detroit. I'm Rochelle Graham here with next weather meteorologist Karen Carter.
We're on your block around the clock, both over the air and streaming live. CBS News Detroit at 4 starts now. Thank you for joining us for CBS News Detroit at 4. I'm Terrence Friday. We're going to start things off with a look at the forecast with next weather meteorologist Karen Carter. Karen, pretty cool start with this back to work forecast. Streaming on air and live, CBS News Detroit at 5 starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
And I'm Terrence Friday. Thank you for joining us. We're going to start things off with a look at the forecast. Go to next weather meteorologist Ahmed Badji, who is checking things out for this Monday to see how it's going. Hey, Ahmed. Hey.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 6 starts now. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Shayna Humphreys.
And I'm Terrence Friday. Here are the top 6 stories that we are watching for you tonight.
On air and streaming live, CBS News Detroit at 11 starts now. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Shayna Humphreys. We begin with a new push on Capitol Hill to tackle...
You're watching UPN Detroit.
You're watching CBS Detroit.